Alright. Now we just need to get a Hochu. Yeah, I think while he's paralyzed, he can't counter, so I think it doesn't increment the counter. The counter. This is 2 dual horns. This is fine. Actually, it doesn't matter now. We can have Group A or Group B now, because the Hochu shows up in both. Also, I didn't switch my weapon back. I should probably do that. And give me double cut back. And give me... Doesn't really matter, I don't think. And put me in the front row. Thank you, Livestream. Yeah, it's super cool that there's an attack that's that rare. And it's rare not because it's like meant to be rare, but just because of the circumstances of the enemy. Frog crew. Cool that we have this fight in the battle arena too, so you can see that crazy gimmick with her healing the stuff that the frogs give you. Oh boy. The best battle arena enemy. The fact that they put this guy in the battle arena, they gotta still be laughing. Oh, he just has a lot of HP. That's pretty much it. Use Demi. Even then, it takes forever. Okay, 1 in 4 chance. Oh no, not yet. Never mind. Jumping the gun. Oh, we got a water heater. Nice. The battle arena is extra cool in this playthrough because we're like seeing all the enemies we've talked about over the game. That's a Malbro. Alright, 1 in 4 chance. Nope. We got this guy every time. Nobody likes you, Seaworm. No way. No, you don't, Trev. Stop sticking up for people you don't even like for street cred. We all see through your ruse. Oh. I made a slight miscalculation. Grand Galan top enemy. Are we doing an enemy tier list at the end of the playthrough? Enemy tier list. How do we even rank the enemies? Rank them by how well they actually function. Every enemy is an F tier. Every enemy except Touch Me F. Touch Me F is S tier. He does exactly what it says on the tin. Every other enemy is horribly broken. It would be. It'd be hard. Like, you could rank them just by cool factor. That'd be easy. But if you rank them based on, like, how they operate as an enemy, it'd be a lot harder. Like, this guy's kind of cool, but also doesn't do anything that the other golems do. And they're also tiny for, like, no reason. I don't know why they're tiny. They're like little toy soldiers. But that makes them kind of cool. But also, like, why? Buzz Lightyear. The Buzz Lightyear enemy. I don't know. Then there's enemies like this guy, who's like pretty cool, but also can accidentally attack himself and his friends because the AI is broken. So like, does that make him cooler or not? I think that makes him like more interesting. But also like, he's a worse enemy. Yeah, we could just go by name. Grand Galan S tier. Once the remake series is done, what do you think will happen to the Final Fantasy VII world going forwards? I don't know. I think Final Fantasy VII is too big to completely leave. I think the remake series has like proven to square. Hold on. Ochu. 4 times in a row. What is this guy doing? I think the remake series has proven to Square that they have a cash cow in Final Fantasy VII still, even after all these years. And they... I don't know. What I think they should do, personally, is they should make part 3 and it should be focused on part 3. Like, everything that happens at the end of the game, drop any, like, deep ground stuff, drop, you know, any other weird things you want to try to, like, connect. Just focus on Final Fantasy VII, Endgame, Rufus, Turks, weapons, Sephiroth, Wutai War, all the important stuff that we've built up over 2 games. Cook, right? And then after Remake Part 3 is done, they should do a Dirge remake focused heavily on Vincent. Whether or not it's an actual third-person shooter or just a completely different style game. But a Dirge remake that then goes into all the deep ground stuff that they talked about, or they kind of like got into a little bit with Remake Part 1. And then from there, they could do an Advent Children game. They could do a shouldn't have done that. On the Way to a Smile game. They could do The Kids Are Alright game. All these like side things that they have that exist in the compilation that they've now confirmed are part of the remake lore as well. They can do all sorts of stuff with that stuff. They could also implement any of this stuff as a Part 3 DLC. They could do a Part 3 DLC that's like Advent Children. If they really want to go crazy, they could do a remake Remake 0.5, remake Part 0, and do Before Crisis. And I'd be alright with all that stuff, because I know some people are going to say, like, they're milking the series, but, like, all that stuff is stuff that only we're really going to care about. You know, the remake is what everyone's going to want to buy and play, but, like, only the real fans are going to care about frickin' On the Way to a Smile, the video game. So I don't think it would really be milking the series. I think it would be more of giving the fans what they want at that point. I don't think they would be necessarily like super advertising it to everyone as they do with the remake. I think it'd be more of just a side project. I don't know if they could ever do a project as big as remake once they finish part 3, unless they do like Final Fantasy IX remake. But in terms of Final Fantasy VII, I think we get part 3 and then it's just smaller stuff from there. Ever Crisis, but it's a console game. So basically the remake we all asked for way back in the day. That would be kind of a kick in the face if they did that. But, yeah, I don't know. In my opinion, if I put aside my biases, and I'm like a Sony executive or a Square executive, and I'm in the room with the Square executives, and they're like, what are we going to do with Final Fantasy? I'm saying, make part 3, make it huge, make it epic, make it encapsulated in the remake, not try to like go outside the remake, but just make part 3 what it should be, and then try a Dirge remake as like a big project and see how it goes. But I personally don't think that Advent Children as a game, you know, Before Crisis as a game, Part 3 DLC, I don't think any of that stuff's going to sell super well. I think everyone's waiting for Part 3, and after Part 3, they're going to be done with Final Fantasy VII, to be honest. Obviously, we're going to be in for the long run no matter what they make, but the general population, I think, you know, Remake Part 1 brought in so many people that either A, haven't played Final Fantasy VII as they were a kid, or B, never played Final Fantasy VII. I don't think any game they make after Part 3 is going to have that same effect. If they make Ever Crisis the video game, you're going to get Final Fantasy VII fans and maybe a couple other diehard mobile game fans to try it. It's not going to be as big as Remake Part 1. But the thing is, with a Dirge remake, you can kind of spin it as this new thing. It's this third-person action adventure with this really cool Vincent character. I think that could potentially sell to other people. But I don't think something like Advent Children, if it's just remake combat again, I don't think that's selling to a lot of people. I think it's selling to Final Fantasy fans, which is fine, but they can't... You have to understand, these remake projects are absolutely immense. It is like the entire company is putting everything into these games. They have to sell to more than just the Final Fantasy fan base, or they do not work. So, you know... Yes! We got them. They have to keep that in mind. They can't put $7 bajillion into a Advent Children game and sell it only to Final Fantasy fans. They will lose their butts. So here is the Hochu. Where is my Hochu? There it is. So Hochu is a mistranslation of Ochu, probably to help with pronunciation. They probably thought that Ochu might be weird to pronounce in English, so they put the ho there to make it like obvious it's Hochu. It only appears in the battle arena. He was originally intended for the Ancient Forest, either all the way through the Ancient Forest or maybe just in the cave at the end. The original battle formation for the Hochu in the Ancient Forest does not have a no escape flag. So there's a good chance that Hochu is actually supposed to be a boss. Maybe he was supposed to be a boss in the cave right before picking up the Ragnarok, but or the Apocalypse. But either way, it is interesting that he has a no escape flag. Probably means that he was supposed to be more than just an enemy. And the fact that he's a mini boss in the battle arena kind of supports that as well. So he probably is a removed boss fight. He has a circlet to steal and is also the only other enemy in the game besides the Master Tomberry to morph into a ribbon. Strangely, he's not weak to fire, but he is weak to water, which is really odd because he's literally a plant. Ochu originally comes from the Dungeons of Dragons monster Otyugh, Otyugh, which looks pretty similar but doesn't have legs. This is what that thing looks like. So this is the inspiration for the Ochu. Otyugh. I have no idea how to pronounce that, but it's a Dungeons and Dragons monster. And yeah, you can see the resemblance. And yeah, that is the Hochu. And yeah, super odd that it's weak to water and not weak to fire. Probably just because he's a bit unfinished. Give me my Omni Slash. Give me my championship belt. We out of here. Give me my circlet back. Give double... Oops. That's fine, I guess. Give me my double cut back. Give me my W item back. And... I think we're good. Nah, we won't need W summon. Not for this playthrough. We are plenty strong enough without it. Alright, so with that, we are completely done with all the enemy trivia up to the North Crater. Having said that, the North Crater is pretty large. We have a lot of enemies to discuss in the North Crater. So let's get it popping. I think the plan in my mind right now, both so that we have enough content for next week and also so I can save my voice a bit, is I think we'll try to get to the bottom of the North Crater and then stop there. That way we have Sephiroth, Jenova, Sephiroth, and the weapons for next week. But we'll see. See how fast we get down. See how fast we get down the crater and see how fast we get all the enemies. Because there's a lot of them. Alright, starting off we have the Dark Dragon. So, the Dark Dragon has 2 learnable enemy skills, Laser and Dragon Force. Manipulate seems like the intended weakness, as he is weak to... weak against gravity and doesn't use Laser on his own. So it seems like the strategy here is you manipulate him and then have him use Laser on himself. He also has a scaling chance to counter magic with Ultima as his HP gets lower. So the lower his HP gets, the more and more chance he has to counter any magic spell with Ultima. And I'll show off this manip strat here. Eventually. Eventually. There we go. So first of all, give me Dragon Force on my enemy skill. And Dragon Force is a really good enemy skill, by the way. It's basically a poor man's hero's drink. Hero drink. It doesn't give you attack stats, but it gives you 50% defense and spirit. So, it's like a better hero drink for defensive capabilities, but doesn't give you offensive. And yeah, you can use laser on yourself. And it will do massive damage. And it also won't get rid of the manipulate. And there we go. And now we have the Parasite. So the Parasite, many people don't know because Parasite himself never uses them, but Parasite has not one, but 2 learnable E-skills, just like the Dark Dragon. He has both level 5 Death and Magic Breath. You have to manipulate them to get both of them. Parasite is a super easy way to get Sadness on the team if you want it, as they spam Paratail, which gives Sadness 100% of the time, specifically on characters who don't have Sadness. So if you just let them attack a couple times, your whole party will get Sadness immediately. Can be really nice for challenge runs, like challenge runs where you can't use tranquilizers. They will always counter magic with Magic Extinguish, which silences. And they are immune to Earth, even though they're just barely hovering over the ground here. They are still immune to Earth, just like a flying enemy. So we're going to kill one of them. And manipulate the other one. No, they don't stack. Hopefully this doesn't kill my whole party. Go ahead and use Howling Moon. So I can try to get his last limit break. Also, Red 13 is going to be doing crazy damage with Howling Moon. I already have him as a physical damage build. Give you Fury. Never seen Dark Dragon use Ultima. We could try to get it out of him here. Should probably big guard though, because it will hurt. Do I have any low-level spells? Could Demi him, I guess. Or Cloud could just nuke him. Yeah, we always do Ruby and Emerald Blast. In pretty much every run we ever do, unless there's a weird reason we want to do them first. It's always good to save them for last. I remember what I wanted to do. Give you an all materia. Yeah, the maximum chimera. I think we still have one more enemy up here we want to fight before we get too far. Actually, 2 enemies we need to fight here. In fact, there's one we missed. We got to go back. Hey, good to see you, Slog. There's one enemy up here we never got. Let's try this again. I'll just spam Demi until he uses it. There it is. That was quick. And yeah, that was with magic barrier. Almost one-shot us. So yeah, don't use magic on Dark Dragon. In your casual playthrough. Oh, right. Sorry, I got distracted. Thank you. Aha, there we go. You can get him in here. I wasn't 100% sure if you could get him here or not. But yeah, here he is, the gargoyle. So, the petrified gargoyle is immune to everything and will only unpetrify when attacked with anything that isn't the normal attack command or if enough time passes. If you unpetrify it yourself, it will counter with Rock Finger. There is a line of code that allows you to kill the petrified gargoyle with a soft, but it's bugged so it doesn't work, which is really interesting. I never knew that. I always thought it'd be cool if this guy had a gimmick where you threw a soft on him and it like auto-killed him. Similar to the one in Final Fantasy IX. And there isn't one, but I never knew that there actually is one. It just doesn't work. So that's really interesting and also funny that once again there's another thing that doesn't work in the AI. Now, having said that, if we throw a soft or a remedy Okay, it's only the soft. Oh, no, the soft didn't work either. Okay, so let's hit him with something that isn't a regular attack. Now we should use Rock Finger. Yep. So if you throw items on him, it does nothing. But if you do something that isn't a regular attack, they will turn normal and they'll turn you into a rock. And also they can use L4 Death. Sometimes as a final attack. But yeah, I think what's weird about that enemy is the gimmick is that if you attack them, they then punish you by turning you into a stone. But it doesn't work for regular attacks. So it seems like you just have to sit around and wait. Which makes it kind of a weird gimmick. It would make a lot more sense if just doing anything to them punished you. But it has to be something that's not an attack. That's interesting, Slog. Okay, we still have one more fight that should be in here. Yeah, we have a special relationship with all the enemies down here after doing the Vincent Gambit. The fight we're looking for is actually the most common fight. We somehow have not gotten it yet. Yeah, it can be a regular fight and a side fight. And the regular fight is the most common fight. There he is, finally. So this is Scissors. Another household object name. But kind of a stupid name for him, in my opinion. At half HP, he will counter with Scissor Attack. A terrible name, and part of the reason why I was always confused with this fight. Which instantly kills a party member and splits into 2 new enemies. For some reason, Scissor Attack also does a super small amount of normal damage before instantly killing. If you can pass the health gate, you can kill Scissors without it transforming. If you let it transform, you will get more XP and AP in the fight than if you one-shot him, because you'll get XP and AP from both parts. If you steal from Scissors first, you'll only get an ether, but if you wait until it splits, you can get 2 ethers. The top Scissor has a 1/3 chance to kick a party member from the fight with Scissor Tornado, but he only does it 1 time. So I'd actually like to show that off potentially. Okay, he just died immediately. Dude doesn't have much health for this whole splitting gimmick. It's kind of funny how little health he has. Let's fight him again. Okay, there's Scissor attack. So it does 4 damage, but then insta-kills for some reason. And then, of course, he splits into these 2 parts. And the... what'd I say? The top Scissor has a chance to kick somebody. So let's stick around and see if he does it. Let's give him haste. There it is. So there you go. He kicked Cloud. Yeah, it's pretty interesting how many enemies in the game have a kick move. There's more than you'd think. Seems like a unique thing for like the Midgar Zolom, but there's a good amount that have it. Yeah, everything he does is scissor this, scissor that. He's like a Pokemon or something. Pretty stupid enemy, honestly. Probably one of my least favorite enemies in the game. There's just something about him. I don't know. He's just dumb. Just kind of dumb. I don't like him. And his whole split gimmick doesn't really work well because he doesn't have much HP. And it's not like they really do anything unique when they split. And his name is just Scissors. And all of his attacks has scissors in the name. It's just stupid. The model's kind of cool, though. Although I don't really know what they're supposed to be or why they're, like, down here. They look like humanoid, but everything else down here is like a monster. So I don't really know. I don't really get it. Let's see. We'll go left, I guess. Hojo ran out of names. There shouldn't be any Hojo experiments down here, but who knows? Who knows where all those experiments ended up?